We back.
Back, baby. We
Going
back.
on.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the
Excited.
Couch Coach, your Friday morning pit stop into the greatest sport on this planet. I am your host, Best Show XO. I got my guys with me. I got Nui. I got Tim
What up, what
Jitsu
up?
in the building. And guess what? We got a show for you today. The NFL is absolutely wild and crazy. And I don't know if you're dialed in like we are. We're approaching that midseason mark if we're not there already. And I don't even know how this is going to end. If you have not followed us yet, please go follow us at the Couch Coach Club. That is at the Couch Coach Club everywhere. I don't like to do a lot of talking. I want to get right to it. Without further ado, let's start the Couch Coach.
Let's
For
do
the
it.
first quarter, what?
I said, let's do it.
Did you?
Do it.
I think he did.
That's
Well,
what I
let's
said.
go. You know how we like to do this thing, just like a football game. We got a pregame. First quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, and the fourth quarter. We're going to bring it home for the win. Let's do this. What the hell happened is our first quarter show. And I need to know what the hell happened from you guys. Let's spend some time here because this was a crazy weekend.
Absolutely.
It was. It really
Tim,
was.
what you got, man?
Oh man, I'm gonna go to Buffalo, bro, because the Bills. Man,
So
I
damn
love
sorry.
the Bills. I love the. Listen, my first ever Pee Wee team I played on was the Hanover Park Bills. So I had my entire life growing up. I had this Bills logo from my helmet that I'd stripped off and put on my door. So I gotta love the Bills. The Bills will always be with me. And Josh Allen and the Bills continue to make me sad. He was outplayed by Russell Wilson last night. He had those
By far.
two first half interceptions. The late half
Wasn't
interception
good.
really bothers me because it was a reckless throw. It was a corner out to the field side, which is a long throw. It was late. It was inside. And now you've literally given the Broncos an opportunity to kick the field goal that they did at the end. Russell was 24 of 29, 193, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Love what he's doing right now, even though I told him to retire a month ago. And since then, he is
Crow.
yeah, he's been whooping ass since then. What really gets me is the 2 field goals that were allowed in this game by the Bills. One right before half to get the points. They got the play. They had to rush out. They had to rush out and kick the field goal. It was fourth down.
Beautiful.
No timeouts. I don't know if you guys saw the game.
Beautiful execution.
It was amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Well, what happens? What happens is we get down to the second half. Now we're in the fourth quarter. Josh Allen has basically won the game, but no. The Broncos get themselves in field goal position, although, a long field goal. They go to kick the field goal. What I don't understand is they're making their extreme change. It was exactly like the end of the first half, except a little bit more time. The Raiders sub. I don't know why they sub, but they do. Or the Raiders, the Bills, they sub. I don't know why, but they do. Not only do they sub, but there's one guy in the back. He's supposed to count. He counts 11 and doesn't realize that he's number 12. And so you get 12 men on the field. They miss the field goal, and then they get to kick the field goal again. I'm firing everybody that had anything to do with the special teams last night. Everyone's gone, right?
Yeah,
but that's not what happened. Ken Dorsey got fired today. Hopefully that's going to be a good thing for Josh Allen and the Bills. I felt like bad coaching last night and some first half interceptions cost them once again. And they lost to the Broncos, who are trying to assert themselves and all of a sudden become relevant. But golly, man, you can't lose a game like that just because you have 12 guys on the field.
I mean, they tried to lose it so many times, anyways. They
did, but they're in trouble because I'm going to talk about them again later in the show because their schedule doesn't work out well in their favor the way they've been playing, and I don't feel really warm and fuzzy about the Bills right now.
It just wouldn't be that crazy if they didn't make the playoffs. But let's keep going. Nui, what the hell happened?
Now, before we get into what the hell happened, I got to know about these Bills, that youth team. Like, did you have the one bar, like the big shoulder pads?
Bro, the shoulder pads were huge. I still
you didn't
have
look like the new generation,
the jersey's like a pajama. It's like super thick, and the sleeves
it's
are
the
like
old school,
thick.
like these babies.
That old school, the long sleeves.
I wore
sleeves.
I wore number 9. And what was funny as a 8th grader, or I guess that was like 7th, 8th grade, I was as big as I am now, which isn't very big, but then I was like one of the bigger kids on the team. And so not only did I play quarterback, but I ran a lot of quarterback sneaks, and we didn't throw the ball. We had an explosive running back that was great. I ended up playing with later on semi-pro with two of the guys on the offensive line again, and one of them passed away recently. One of the Witt brothers. But anyway, hey, we rode in a limo. The Witts, their mom, they had a limo company, so we rode to the games in limos. Shit was fun.
Styling and profiling.
Huh?
We didn't win a single game, by the way.
Damn.
Yeah,
so no suicide slushies for you guys.
No, we ate good still. It didn't matter. Treats
okay,
great.
It didn't matter.
We ate good. We
just having fun.
Yeah, we were the Hanover Park Bills, baby.
Okay, we'll represent well.
Speaking of that, what you said you were a number 9?
I did. Because Jim McMahon was my idol at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that you're about to talk about a number 9. Is that correct, Nui?
A number 9? The 49ers. So. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's what the hell, right? So think about this. I know I sound like a fanboy, but your boys got back on track, right?
Yeah.
We got back on track, 34-3. The reason why I put this in the segment is because what the hell happened to the Jags? You were the hottest team in the NFL. You just beat Buffalo, right? Overseas, you come back. You guys have a bye week. You didn't do anything. Right? Held under 59 yards rushing. You had 4 turnovers, 2 INTs, 2 fumbles, 5 sacks from the Niners. Getting Chase Young, that asset looks great. Brock Purdy finally looks like a Glock 45 instead of a 22, right? So think about it. We're in motion right now. We're rolling.
The quarterback on the other side of the field is
T-Law was trash. He was in our garbage juice segment.
He's just overrated and mainly down, but he's
this was his moment. I thought they were going to torch us because our secondary isn't the best, right? Yeah. Our front 4 got after it.
Do we not see it yet? I mean, is it not apparent yet? I know a lot of people have been waiting on it because I've been hearing about how good this guy is for so long.
Right.
And this is supposed to be the year. You know what I mean? You got a really good coach right now, too. You got a really good roster, so you can't really make those excuses, man. What they did was terrible.
I just don't think he's seeing the field very well when pressured. And you're only bringing 4, so maybe the line's a little bit weaker. I know they've had some injuries in the past there, but
he made an upgrade.
I think this was his moment to really step up and say, "Hey, I'm here."
Did
he got shut down? They couldn't run the ball.
He got shut down. I mean,
understand that the Jaguars really run through ETN, not through Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and they tried. Don't get me wrong. They tried to give him the ball.
Yeah.
They tried to establish it.
And you shut down the offense, just like the Lions. You shut their run game down. You shut down Jared Goff. Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, T-Law, I thought he was going to use his legs a little more, bringing 4. But it's sad to see that he's just a mid quarterback. I don't think he's anything outside of that. I think now maybe they're still first in the division, but those Texans are coming up, right? So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens the further the season goes along. Texans already owned them the first time, so will they split? We don't know.
Well, look, the guy has not really impressed me, and I just felt like this was the turning point, especially the way this season was going. This was a very winnable division, and I don't know. I think it might be slipping out of his hands right now. My what the hell happened this week? Look, I just want to give a quick little shout out to these boys right here, man. Like another win, another dub that people didn't believe you. Josh Dobbs barely been there for 2 weeks. He still doesn't know everybody's name. He just said today he doesn't even know where to park. Sometimes he still gets confused on where he parks, and that actually means something. And he's still going out and balling. We're just finding a way. Lost a running back. No starting running back. He was out. We're down to wide receiver 3 because we had 2. The top 2 are out with KJ Osborne and Justin Jefferson being out. Marcus Davenport still hasn't played. We haven't seen him. We lost the heart and soul to the defense. Jordan Hicks was placed on IR. We brought back Anthony Barr. Big ups. But we lost him in the game, and we lost our starting cornerback in the game and Caleb Evans. And guess what? It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Next man up mentality, and they just understand what's going on. And I just appreciate how Kevin O'Connell has this team rolling. About the Saints, Derek Carr needs to be done. He needs to be done.
He's not that guy, pal.
Hey, look, I
He's
get
not
it.
that guy.
He took a
I
smack.
get the West Coast offense, this dink and dunk. It just didn't work, and I didn't like it.
No.
And they couldn't move the ball. But as soon as Jameis Winston got in that game, he's just a high variance player. And it doesn't matter, what's going on. He's going to throw the ball down the field, and I think that's exactly what that team needs. They have an opportunistic defense, and they need somebody like Jameis Winston to move the ball down the field with those receivers that can stretch the field.
Yeah.
What about the 2 picks? You don't care about those?
He's a gunslinger, man.
Okay.
That's going to happen with him.
There's a few things about those 2 picks.
High risk, high reward.
With a week of install as the starting quarterback, and not trying to come back from 24 points, he might not have made. You know what I mean? He just got a little trigger happy because, hey, he brought him back.
I'm a Jameis fan. He's just,
he's
never ascended.
He's Josh Allen with a mask on.
Oh.
He doesn't have the legs like Josh Allen.
Oh, I don't know that he's Josh Allen.
He doesn't, but they just do the same things. It's just throws that they probably shouldn't make.
Okay,
they try to push the ball in there instead of making throws that keep their team in the right situations. But that's my what the hell happened. Keep rolling, Vikes. I love to see it. I kind of want us all to dive into this what the hell happened because this was a badass game. We talked this game up, and as much as we talked it up, I didn't think it was going to go the way it did. And this kid just keeps on impressing. But let's talk about what the hell happened in this Bengals and Texas game. And that was the number that I was referring to because I thought Joe Burrow was going to be the best quarterback on the field. But
listen,
I don't know.
Before we
Football gods had other plans, brother.
Before we poo-poo on Joe Burrow.
It's no poo-poo. It's just,
he did make a perfect throw at the end of the game that should have been.
He shouldn't even have been in that situation, Tim. He made a dumbass throw.
He didn't play great.
With 3 guys around him with the
great.
game on the line. Now, he cleaned it up.
Better than advertised, by the way.
Shouldn't have been there.
I didn't say he played great. He didn't play great.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud played great, especially at the end of the game.
Great.
Now, at the end, he did play great, guys. CJ only completed 59% of his passes. Right? That doesn't sustain for success. As much as we're putting the rain on the kid, he's only completing 62. He's only going to get better. He's got a quick trigger, but he makes some throws like, oh.
He also
pushes the ball downfield. You just talked about no risk, no reward.
Exactly.
He pushes the ball downfield.
Risk it, no biscuit.
And Duncan.
Well, he's only got 1 touchdown that game, so I don't think.
Well, no, but because look, the game changed. And this is why I love. We talked about this. I don't know how many social media people, or how many media outlets were really on the Texans, but we've been on the Texans all year. We were talking about how this team was hot before they started to win games, and now they won that game with a completely different element than they've won it all season. You know what I mean? Singletary had 30 carries. 150 yards.
Woo.
You know what I mean?
That's how you protect your rookie quarterback.
Yeah, man.
With the Bills, so they couldn't give the ball to him. Lack of run game.
They never tried to run the ball.
They protected their quarterback in a late. He pounded the ball. So CJ was just tossing it downfield. You know what I mean? There were throws down the field, but it's just really impressive what the Texans are doing right now, and they can seize the moment. They can take.
I will say this, man. Sorry to cut you off on this. This is extremely impressive what the young man's doing. He's asking, considering the completion percentage. Let's throw that out. That man's asking to do what Joe Burrow's trying to do, and he's doing it as a rookie.
Yeah,
I mean, he threw damn near 40 passes this game, guys.
Yeah. By the way, he's not doing it.
Not a lot of elite quarterbacks are asked to do that.
He's not doing it like as a rookie. These other quarterbacks where it's he's electric with his legs and he's running for all over the place like a Justin Fields or something like that. This kid's doing it from the pocket with poise. He's they did a whole film session on him on NFL Network tonight, which was interesting because you really get to see how he is moving safeties with his eyes. He's telling his tight end before play, hey, I got you on this. He looks right over to the right, moves the safety over, comes back because he understands it's a cover 3, not a blitz, not a man coverage, and he hits his tight end on that quick seam route. He's doing veteran things from the pocket, and I love what he's doing. Love it. Yeah. Love it.
It's impressive.
I do too.
But nobody gave them a chance to beat Cincy, did we?
No, they didn't.
And all of it. So
I don't think any of us did.
Oh, we didn't either.
50-something percent. Forget that he only
Yeah.
threw one touchdown. He wasn't supposed to win that game. And
No.
yes, Cincinnati shot themselves in the foot more than once. Yes, you dropped that touchdown pass, but what's to say CJ doesn't drive them down and get in the end zone? I mean, they took the field goal because that's all they needed. So
real talk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man, those were three big throws. Yeah.
If you want to win, that was playoff football.
That one throw was in that final drive, by the way.
Yes. That was playoff football because that was a young team that played in a hostile environment, and in an away game, they were favored to lose, and they didn't. So with that being said, let's keep this thing rolling. Let's roll over to the second quarter. This is a new segment. This is called Out the Mud. And I wanted to make that transition because, we did kind of give a lot of teams, their glory just now and what the hell happened. But there were some teams that kind of been getting shat on all year, not just by us, but a lot of the media outlets. Everybody was saying that some of these teams weren't going to make the playoffs. Some of these teams need to fire their coach. And maybe it was a little premature. But if there was a team out there that kind of represents what we're talking about here, Tim, who do you think that team might be?
I mean, the Steelers come to mind right away. I talked about them a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was blasphemy that people wanted to fire Mike Tomlin because he's never had a below 500 season. And as soon as that talk started to come, the Steelers started to win. And it's ugly. It's not flashy. It's
so
not
ugly.
It's not. You don't want to watch it, but they are winning. So the Steelers, man, and that division is a beat you up division. And Cincinnati's kind of falling down. Pittsburgh's kind of coming up, and you got Cleveland and Baltimore, but the Steelers are giving themselves a chance. And, everyone kind of left them for dead, fire the coach, blah, 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 and now they're doing their thing. So I love it.
All four teams in the AFC North are now slated to be in the playoffs as of today.
That's crazy.
That's very crazy.
I mean, that probably won't happen. But
probably won't happen.
You might get three. You might get three.
Yeah. So
Steelers are in this thing, man. And that's scary because Mike Tomlin is a coach that knows how to win when it matters most. Yeah.
If I had to look across the board, and I do like all the coaches in that division, don't get me wrong. If I had to trust somebody in the playoffs, I think I might give that trust to Tomlin.
Situational ball.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to come down to situation.
I like what they're doing
Harbaugh
over there.
Knows what he's doing too now.
What's that?
He's won a Super Bowl. Harbaugh knows what he's doing too.
Oh
now.
no.
Yeah, but they made him. They shut him down too.
Yeah, I like every single coach in that division. Don't get it twisted. I just really look at it as far as if we had to go with the head to head, I would probably take it Tomlin only in the playoffs. One thing I gotta say about that team right now is no one is overwhelming me on that team. You know what I mean? Kenny Pickett he's not playing out of his mind.
No,
he makes one or two throws a game.
Najee Harris is in a timeshare with
Jalen
Warren, who wants to be great. Pickens is still throwing tantrums on the sideline. Deontay Johnson's trying to get his feet, back right. They don't really have a third wide receiver. The offensive line is just decent. I like the defense, but they don't get a whole lot of pressure and they don't get a whole lot of turnovers, but they just win games.
They're just winning games somehow.
They're just winning games.
It's great.
Nui, if you had a team that was out the mud, who do you think was out the mud for you right now?
Out the mud, man, is the Broncos, man. I got to give it to them. I mean, we crapped on them the whole year, right? It was bad. It was real bad, right? But I remember when they actually won against the Bills, right? My mom texted me. Shout out to my mom. She was like, "How about those Broncos?" She loves Russell Wilson, loves him, and we've been bashing Russ the entire time. But I'll tell you what, man, Russ is putting up some numbers. He's got 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, completing 67% of his passes. It's not flashy, but is Russ back? We haven't seen that flash, right? Colin said he lacked a little bit of a twitch. I don't know that. He made some damn good throws out there, man. He made some damn good throws out there, right?
Yeah,
but I just think they're on a 3-game win streak. They beat the Bills. They beat the Chiefs. They're rolling, man. And now they roll into your territory where they're coming. You guys are going to their territory. And this is 2 of the most exciting teams right now getting ready to play on Sunday. I think Sean Payton's doing a good job. I think these guys are buying in. I think the defense is locked in. They're creating turnovers when needed. The offense is they're trying to find their way, but what they're doing, I think they're doing okay. I think these receivers, Sutton and Judy, they're starting to step up in big time situations, being possession guys. So they really need that burner that's really going to explode it, and I think that offense will take off soon. So that's my team.
So you think they're there?
I don't think they're there, but I think they're gonna challenge a lot of people. You know, despite that 70 piece, they're hanging right in there. It's like 21-27, quite a bit. I mean, the margin of error there, it's really a one possession game that they're starting to create now, and sitting at 4-5. I mean, will they make the playoffs? Probably not
this year. No.
No, I mean, you don't know. That's the thing. If they're playing these good teams, they're playing them close.
Let me get to my out the mud team, and
I'll let you have it.
And this might tie this in. My out the mud team is somebody that I was absolutely dogging on, and I was thinking, you know, what I mean, that just delete this team completely from the league because there's no point of watching a Las Vegas Raiders game.
Yeah,
but there's
them from the league though.
Delete them from the league, man. I was tired of looking at it, man. And I think I was tired of looking at Josh McDaniels, and I'm glad he's out of there. But what Antonio has going on right now is something special because no one would have believed me if I told you right now. Did y'all know the Raiders are number 2 in their division right now?
How about that?
They are.
Not Russell
They're sitting
Wilson.
at 1-1.
Not Russell Wilson. Not Justin Herbert. They are number 2 in their division. They're sitting right behind the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're only 2 games behind. So, you know, a team that was maybe picking first overall now has by far the worst quarterback in the division, or maybe he's not the worst. We just haven't seen him play. But the rookie who we never thought was going to see play is in a division with Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and he is sitting at number 2. And they're another team. They're another team that I have to appreciate the way they're doing it. You know what I mean? They got Devontae Adams, which is one of the best wide receivers in the land. He's not really doing that much right now.
Nah, nothing's really changed, but they'll get it going. He's a rook.
Not really doing anything. Jacoby Myers has been very Jacoby Myers. You know what I mean? He's going to catch balls, possession receiver. Nobody's stretching the field right now. The young tight end, Michael Mayer, is not really doing that much. Josh Jacobs is looking good, but he's not like last year where he was the number 1 rusher in the NFL. But the defense is starting to be a little bit opportunistic. They're making plays. Like, this is another one of those teams that are just finding a way to win. And I can appreciate that. So that's my team for the Raiders. I do got to give.
Let me throw in another team, and this is really just for you, right? Because nobody on this show really walked down this path, but the media sure did. And the Vikings at one point were the worst 1-win team in the league, is what we all said. Then they were the worst 2-win team in the league. Now they've got themselves in a position where they're on a win streak. I think Brandon said it was 5 in a row from the Vikings.
They're 5. They got the winningest active streak right now.
Active streak in the NFL.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to even say that, but
there you go. They are. They're looking to compete all of a sudden with the Detroit Lions, and this last quarter of the season is so important for them. But I mean, they have risen up from the dead. They were under the Bears at one point in this division, and now look where they are. Look what they've done. So congrats to you, my friend.
Hey, I went multiple weeks of saying we were the best 1-4 team ever.
You stood by them the whole time.
You did.
The next week, we're the best.
And then you lose
team
your quarterback. And then you think, oh, there's no way we're going to win another game. We looked at the schedule and said they may not win a game the rest of the season. You rattled off 2 in a row with Josh Dobbs at quarterback, and it's only going to get better for him.
Hey, I just want to stay.
That is a machine.
I want to stay with what I said before, and I don't want to change it. The schedule was going to clear up for us, and it did. It is not crazy for me to say that we would possibly go undefeated or maybe lose 1 game down the stretch. I mean, there's not a team out there that just scares me. Now, going out to Denver on a Monday night might be kind of crucial, but our defense is going to absolutely get after Russell Wilson. Our defense is going to get after most of the quarterbacks we're going to play. I was worried about the Cincinnati game.
Right.
I'm not that worried about the Cincinnati game anymore. Looking at the Lions, hey, that's going to be tough, but it's a division game. The Lions got to play Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings.
Tough.
You know? So do we really think the Lions are going to go 3-0 in that span?
They could.
They could.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Their formula has to be just right. I don't
It
think
has
they
to
can
be
play from
just
behind,
right,
right?
They're
man.
not winning in Dallas.
It's very true.
It has to be just right. And if it's not those games, that's going to mean we're still going to be only one game behind. So
Right.
just stay tuned with this team.
We're going to help you out,
feisty.
Seth. We're going to beat the Vikings for you, and don't you worry about a thing. We got your back.
I appreciate that. We like it.
Because we're going to be able to stop that play action crap because you're not going to be able to run on us. Although I say we really can't stop the run. So I'm really just talking out of my butt.
We'll see y'all in the playoffs, okay?
I ain't worried about you either.
You should be.
I'm not.
You should. Our formula kills y'all. Kills y'all.
Listen,
I
I don't want
Their
to talk about
formula makes us nervous.
I don't want to talk about the fact that we haven't beat a 500 team in like 2 years. But
Yeah, but y'all
I'm
still
not worried about you.
floating the
I'm not
Super
worried about the
Bowl and all that
Vikings.
other
I'm not
crap.
worried about anybody in the NFC anymore. Right? Let's just
Really?
go. Yeah.
So
This
you're
is
just going to
smart.
the couch, right? So you're just going immediately to the couch and planning for your vacation in the off season. That's
No,
that's what you're
I'm
talking.
saying that maybe we're not going to lose another game from now until February. What?
That's a bold statement.
I mean, it could happen.
So you're going to do all that and lose in the first round?
Bro, I hope not. We've
It's
done
not
that
out the
before.
question.
We've
It's
done
not
that
out the
before.
question.
We've seen it before. Oh, we've seen it before.
Look, Dak's playing at a
And it is
really high
hilarious.
level. Minus, one bad series against the Eagles at the end of the game.
Probably
when
all
we
that
needed
shit
him
you
the
talked
most.
about him. He was listening.
Playing great. So
Yeah,
He is
you
playing
talking a lot
great.
of shit. He's playing out of his
we
mind.
found a run game. That's
fun
what
to
I really
watch.
love about what I saw this weekend. We found a run game. Anyway,
I mean, since we're on that, you know what I mean? This segment is called Out the Mud. And I think I want to actually segue to the topic you were just talking about. As far as out the mud, I think Dak Prescott has literally got it out the mud. I mean, there was, for some reason, you know what I mean? He's one of the most scrutinized players in the NFL. And
Period.
I think he's in a group of, a couple of guys that are the same. I think Kirk Cousins is also in that group. I think Goff is maybe also in that group as well. Sometimes they just get scrutinized, and there's a level of consistency. There's a level of play that we see, year in and year out.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that, while we're in this segment, that I give Dak his shout outs because
For sure.
for some reason, whenever the Cowboys lose, it's on Dak. You know what I mean? No matter what else happened, it's on Dak. But he's been winning these games.
Yeah, he has, man. I mean, shout out to Dakota, man. He's been doing his thing despite against, teams under 500. That's always going to be the knack, right? But what quarterback is doing that right now besides like maybe 4?
Maybe.
Right? Now, they have a formula. What we're looking to see when it comes to Dak, just like a lot of these other quarterbacks, you got to learn to play from behind against these good teams. And if your system gets messed up, how do you take advantage of it? I can name you probably 3 guys that can do it right now.
I'll give you that, but
my problem is I've seen
with the
Dak do
trajectory
this before. This is not the first time we've seen Dak play.
I don't know. I don't know.
This is
this
kind of
a little different.
It's been a little different.
And we
This has
listen.
felt
Can
like
we not overreact? Because we played the Eagles. He was marginal against the Eagles, and then collapsed on the final drive. Okay,
he blasted them.
He was better than average, better than what I expected. I thought we were going to get blown out in that game coming into it. We can't look at the Giants game and go, man, we just beat an elite team. Like we made a joke about it on the QB huddle. Wow, we just beat the Giants who are headed to the Super Bowl. No, they're not. The Giants are headed to the toilet bowl. I'm excited that we've had its stats and we took advantage of things. I'm not excited as a Cowboys fan. It's not just a Dak thing. It's a Cowboy thing because we haven't beaten – I feel like we haven't beaten a team over 520 years. So can we just do that Can we just win a big game? Can we beat the Lions? Can when we have to play them?
That you had to say that.
Look. I mean,
Right?
look. As
Can we
beat the
Eagles at the end of the
Lions?
year? Can we
If we're talking about
get to the
Cowboys,
divisional round? That's what I want. Right?
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Right,
It's not
you
a
want
Dak
that
thing.
one.
That's not fair. It's a Cowboys thing. I don't
But
Something
trust
Purdy
if we're talking
does.
about Cowboys thing, I agree with you. But I think this one for
Yeah.
me was solely about Dak, because after Dak played the Eagles, that's when I started to look at the Eagles defense and say, are they really that good?
Right? He picked them
You know what I mean?
apart, dude.
Are they
Their
really that good?
secondary is
7-4.
not as good as we
And then the
think.
next couple weeks, it was like, oh, maybe they're not as good as I thought. But Dak showed me that. It was in that game where I was like, I don't know, man. So I don't care. I don't care who you play in the NFL. If you show up and you show out, you deserve the respect. Dak has got it out the mud because ain't nobody gonna give him his flowers. So I want to give him that. Let's keep rolling, man. Let's roll into halftime. Let's go into this locker room. Let's draw something up and let's bring this thing back for the win. What do y'all think?
Absolutely.
Hey, look, I have noticed a staggering number that 65% of our viewers are not subscribed. That math ain't mathing. Come on,
Man.
guys. Find
Well.
us. See, you clearly find us. You clearly want to watch. You're tuned in. So I need you to subscribe. We need to raise that number from 65% all the way up to 90%, and it needs to be done by the end of the week. So please go log on. Find us at The Couch Coach Club. That is at The Couch Coach Club. Like it, love it, comment, subscribe. Enjoying the couch. That's right. My boys have been on fire on the QB Huddle podcast. I'm going to give it to them. Just to let everybody know where to find you, because if you haven't been following already, you need to get to it. But let them know where to find the QB Huddle podcast, where we talk more football day in.
Take it away, Tim.
We're at QB Huddle. Go to YouTube at QB Huddle. We're on Facebook, but really TikTok, we have videos going out all the time as well. The biggest thing is our show drops on YouTube, and we're dropping shorts now on YouTube as well. So we're trying to expand that viewership. We've had some guests. I just confirmed today we will have Coach Andre Coles on next Monday, who is the head coach of the local Frisco Fighters IFL arena team. Been some big time players have played on that team. They're a really, really top-notch arena team, and happy to have him on. He also was an arena quarterback, so we get guests on all the time. And we'd like to take advantage of them and their knowledge, so it should be a fun show. We had Lauren Morales on a couple weeks ago when Brandon couldn't be on, but we were so happy to have my guy back this week. Brandon knew he was back on the show.
That's awesome.
And
yeah, man, it's fun, man.
yeah,
We're trying to do something different, get in front of your face every day with different shorts, different topics. We're going to, try to program it a little different, right? We appreciate every listener that we have, but we know we got to expand on each platform. And so be ready for new content being dropped all the time. Yep. Like, share, and subscribe. That's important, and we appreciate every viewer, even if you watch it for maybe 5 seconds. I don't give a damn.
Even if you don't agree with
I'll create a reel for you.
Look, hey, at the end of the day, if you're a nerd like me, I am engulfed in football. I can't stop. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go, I got this phone next to me, and I'm either looking up a fantasy draft trade or something like that. I'm looking up the latest news. But if you want to lock in and you really want to talk some football with some guys who know what they're talking about and are probably smarter than the guys who make millions, come find us at the QB Huddle podcast, where they go do a deep dive into quarterback play. It's not like it used to be anymore. This is not the 90s. There's about 20 to 25 good quarterbacks. Maybe not great, but 20 to 25 good quarterbacks in the NFL. And guess what? Next year, there's going to be an influx of great quarterbacks that are coming into this league. So if you add in 4 to 5, maybe 4 to 5 hit, that's going to be almost 30 quarterbacks that are decent in the league and deserve a little bit of conversation. So lock in with the QB Huddle podcast right now before these great names start to pop up and you don't know who they are.
And we're talking about draft here soon. We'll be talking about all that kind of stuff. And we talk about
going to expand it for sure.
Who's in the garbage juice, who surprised us. So we like to open up the fans' eyes to quarterbacks and games that maybe they're not paying attention to all the time.
Right.
That's the goal. Yes, sir.
And we're back. Drew up a couple plays, drank some Gatorade. Let's get this thing back going, man. Third Gatorade. Quarter. Yeah.
Damn it. No one gave me any Gatorade.
You're not a fan of Gatorade?
Oh, I love Gatorade, but no one gave me any Gatorade. I didn't know
Oh
there
yeah,
was
that's
Gatorade.
true. Okay, I
Okay.
drank most of it. Dehydrated. Let's keep it
Maybe
rolling.
a little bit of prime.
Third quarter. Y'all know how we like to do on that third quarter. This is the pigskin stock market. We got our risers, we got our fallers, and this is on a forever moving list. Tim, rising team this week. Who you got?
Man, I tell you what, we talked about them so much already, but it's the Houston Texans, man, coming
Yeah.
off another huge win. I didn't know we were going to talk about them so much in the beginning, so it's kind of boring now. But but I want to give you what I got because CJ Stroud to me is the clear front runner for Rookie of the Year, and if they crawl into the playoffs, he might get that MVP consideration because he's putting up really good numbers. He's playing well. He's protecting the football. The Bengals drive all the way down the field. Boyd drops a perfect pass from Burrow in the end zone.
Pass.
The Bengals settle for 3 if you didn't watch the game with 1:33 left. So it's a field goal lead instead of a touchdown lead. That's okay. Or I'm sorry, it's tied instead of a lead. That's okay because CJ has the ball now. And guess what? It's going to overtime. Not so fast. CJ drives down the field. 3 great throws in this drive. One I talked about earlier to the tight end. 7 plays, 55 yards, like a seasoned vet. No panic.
Insane.
He was calm the entire time. They kick the field goal. They win. Now they have to go play in Jacksonville. I think that's going to be okay because Jacksonville just got exposed again because they've been up and down, kind of
they
the
wiped
whole
the floor
time.
with them.
But the Texans are 5-4. I'm sorry, they don't play Jacksonville. They're 1 game back from Jacksonville is what I meant to say.
Right.
1 game back from the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were getting anointed a few weeks ago, not by us, but by the national media as, that was the team, Trevor Lawrence, the Prince, this was the next wave. This was the next threat to Patrick Mahomes. I don't think it is. I think CJ Stroud is the next wave. CJ Stroud might be the next threat to everybody the way he's playing.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
I hate the Texans, but it is what it is. They're doing what they're doing.
Anthony Richardson took a backseat despite his injury. CJ the future? Or were we talking about AR5 the future?
I think it was always they were always going to be right here. You know what I mean? It was always going to be a battle. We talked about this early in the season. They might be battling for the next decade. You know what I mean?
They play the game differently. Richardson really depends on his athletic ability and was hurt 3 times in 3 games. CJ hasn't been hurt. CJ's not leaving the pocket unless he absolutely needs to. And he can run, by the way. He is athletic enough to move around and do those sorts of things like a Joe Burrow,
right?
Maybe even a little bit more so. But watch the games. He depends on his pocket awareness. He depends on his pre-snap reads. He's moving safeties. He's very comfortable inside of the pocket.
Yep.
He's like a throwback. He's like a Steve McNair.
He's shooting.
And honestly, we talked about it earlier in the segment. The fact that team, as far as they're rising, if you can run the ball the way you ran that ball, he had 30 carries. You know what I mean? 150 yards is impressive. And that was better than any game he ever had in Buffalo. So that said a lot to me. And the defense is playing. They're getting turnovers when they need to. You got to like that. I can agree with that being a rising team. New, if you had a rising team, who's your rising team?
It's your team. It's the Minnesota Vikings, man. Currently the NFL best 5-game win streak. I mean, I know we went down the rabbit hole with them. But Josh Dobbs looks like the second coming of Randall Cunningham's second phase, right? He just steps in and gets it done. They're winning games. I think they got some easy – they do have some easy games coming in. I believe they can win, right? Because we've seen this. And the longer Josh Dobbs starts to grow with this and gets Justin Jefferson, right? Get some guys healthy. I know you guys experienced some injuries, but you just find ways to win. You got a sneaky good defense that's playing well, forcing turnovers. Your next 5 games are the Broncos, the Bears, the Raiders, the Bengals, and the Lions, which I think you're going to compete in all of those games. You're second in the division. Here we are sitting back when you guys were, 0-3? 0-3. And now you're looking at a 5-game win streak with Kirk Cousins, who's out, unfortunately, who was playing at an all-pro level. So shout out to you guys. You guys are doing your thing. And you beat us.
Man,
damn.
You sure are getting a lot of love today.
Yeah, it's a lot of love.
When you have the longest streak
today.
When you have the longest streak in the NFL, you deserve it.
Well, I will tell you this. Now, here's kind of where it gets iffy. We were on a
Uh-oh.
5-game winning streak and we lost. Jags
True.
were on a 5-game winning streak and lost.
Yeah,
You're
but
on
I
a
don't
5-game winning streak.
those
Uh-oh.
and we've already talked
Uh
about
oh.
this. You know what I mean? Both of
Uh
those
oh.
teams were getting anointed. You know what I
Just
mean?
playing the
I
devil's
don't
advocate there.
that both of those teams were getting anointed. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
there's a consensus. Nobody still fears the Vikings. You know what I mean? The reality is, you know what I mean?
No.
It's nice what they're doing, but you know, neither one of y'all, you know, the Cowboys
no
or the
pressure.
49ers, y'all don't fear the Vikings, and we've already beat one of you this season. And
Sadly.
that's kind of the consensus from everybody. So just stay tuned. Okay. My rising team, I'm about to play a very, very, very long ball here. Okay. And some people are going to be like, what did he just say? My rising team, and I think it's going to be rising not just this weekend, but it's going to be a long rise, is the Arizona Cardinals. Because the one thing that I didn't expect to happen was to see that franchise quarterback coming off of that devastating injury look like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray
So
looked the part.
fast.
So
Jeez.
fast.
So
You know what I
fast.
mean?
Yeah.
So fast.
I
Little
thought
midget.
maybe the arm would be there still. You know what I mean? That's fine. You know what I mean? Maybe the long speed would be there, but that boy was moving. You know what I mean? Moving. And I already thought they brought in a really good coach. This team won a game against the Cowboys that I didn't think they were able to win. They have been playing without James Conner. I'm not making this team a playoff team, but they go play a little bit of spoiler. They go knock some teams off, and then
Yeah.
they go into next season with these very high draft picks. They can really build. You know what I mean? So as
Quick.
far as my rising team, seeing Kyler go out there and perform was so major for that organization, was so
Sure.
major for that coach. That they're my riser for this week, and I think it might be sustained. Tim, faller this week. Who's your fallen team?
I talked about this earlier too. But this was easy for me because I am a kind of a backseat fan to this team, and that's the Buffalo Bills. You know, they're failing in all three phases. Obviously, 12 men on the field on the last play of the game. You know, I thought after they beat Miami, I think we all thought that the Bills were that team, and they were the threat in the AFC. And since they beat Miami, they haven't looked like that team again. And their schedule does not play in their favor. They have to play the Jets, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Dolphins. Outside of the Patriots, every single one of those games is losable to the Bills the way they've been playing. So, and of course, they have to travel to Miami at the end of the year. Going to be probably a nice muggy day down there for that. Miami owes them. And Miami hasn't beaten a 500 team yet. So, you know, who knows what happens in that game. But I just think the Bills are in a lot of trouble just by what they're doing, the way that they are turning the ball over at an alarming rate. But I did like that they ran the ball more last night with running backs.
But it wasn't enough.
But
it wasn't enough against the Broncos, you know?
Now, it should have been, but the special teams fails you. So, again, they're failing in all three phases. It's not just Josh Allen. It's not just the defense. It's Josh Allen. It's the defense. It's the coaching. It's the time management. It's the special teams. It's the whole
It's a little
thing.
bit of
If they don't
everything.
tighten that ship up, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think they're in trouble right now.
Yeah.
I said it earlier, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't surprise me if they didn't make the playoffs. It sounds crazy. It doesn't even sound right. There should never be a scenario where a healthy Josh Allen doesn't make the playoffs, but I don't know how good this roster is anymore.
Yeah. Looks deflated.
Windows close quick now in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Your window to win is closing quickly. I think Cincinnati is seeing some of that too on their end, defensively particularly. And then, you know, we talked about it earlier, but Joe took the bag, and now there's not a whole lot of money to go around. So that team only looks to deteriorate as the years go on. So it's not good for some of these teams. Their windows are closing.
I agree. Nui, faller. Who's your faller this week?
My faller is the New York sorry ass Jets.
Damn.
You guys built this team amongst Aaron Rodgers. Now, granted, he is trying his best to come back. He said he's 30 days out. Rodgers, you better sit your ass down. You don't want to play with this. 30 days out.
Well, ain't no way.
He's going to play by mid-December.
30 days out.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. Now check this out, man.
Dog.
They're an offensive nightmare right now.
Oh, it's
No
terrible.
line.
Zach Wilson is performing at a very mid-level, mid to low tier. He's one of the worst. He hadn't even had over double-digit touchdowns. They're averaging 16 points a game. Their defense is holding them in as much as they can, but you got to sustain drives, trying to feed Breece Hall. They lost back-to-back games. I just really think their next 5 games are a nightmare. You got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Falcons, the Texans, and the Dolphins. Good luck with sitting third in your division.
I think I don't think they're doing a good enough job of feeding Breece Hall.
No, he's only got 500 yards right now, but I think they can pick it up.
I want to see Breece Hall have a Devin Singletary performance where he gets the ball 30 times a game. I don't care what you're bringing at me. I understand teams are saying, you know what, teams are saying we're gonna stack the box against you, Zach Wilson. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to show us that you can throw it. But here's something staggering about them, right? Breece Hall led the NFL in yards per run last year, 5.9. That's really good.
He's averaging 4.9 right now. I say you give him the ball.
Guess what? He's fifth. He's fifth.
Yeah,
that's
only
not
57 yards a game. Right.
That's not a drop off.
He's not getting the ball.
That's not a drop off. You know,
when your quarterback is only throwing 5 touchdowns to 6 picks, man, and he's sacked 33 times. Like, come on, man.
Help him out.
Don't they still have Dalvin Cook on the roster too?
They do, and they need to use him. They need to utilize these guys and just make it a 2-back thing. Go back to the Rex Ryan. We're going to run the piss out of the ball, whether you like it or not. We're going to play action boot. You know, get Wilson on the edge, because we have seen from Wilson, he's got good legs and can get upfield. With Aaron Rodgers in an ear, I think the tutelage could be there. They just got to trust Wilson a little bit more, but he can't make these crucial mistakes in these game moments. These are crucial moments that he's really dropping the ball there.
I think where the Jets really screwed up is they expected Zach to run the same offense that Aaron Rodgers was going to run, and they never really pivoted from that. And they never made those adjustments.
They never had a backup.
Zach Wilson.
They never had a backup plan.
Yeah.
They thought this was going to be it. This is going to be like Matt Stafford and the Rams and Tom Brady with the Bucks. They thought it was going to be that kind of show. Unfortunately, it hurt.
They need to pull out their best Minnesota Vikings and say, "Hey, this was the Kirko plan, and now this is the Josh Dobbs plan." But look, hey, this is what I just saw. You know, they just released a running back. They just released Michael Carter. You know, out of nowhere.
It's interesting.
It was very interesting. You know what I mean? It was very interesting, and it was very telling because I would think that they should be pounding the ball. We're about to get into the cold months. It's in New York. I would think they would just be continuously pounding the ball. So something's not right. I think if this team wants to get right, it goes through Breece Hall. If you want a ball, Breece Hall.
Yeah, if you want the ball, get the ball to Hall.
I want to go to my followers, man, and you know, this is for some reason, you know, I talk about this all the time. This team, we have a lot of expectations for this team. Since this quarterback has gotten to this team, there's been a substantial amount of expectations, but we just have not seen any of those expectations convert to wins.
Who you talking about?
The Chargers. Man.
Damn.
Like, come on. Like, you gotta win some big games. You gotta be able to beat some big teams, and you haven't done it yet.
At all. Ever.
Right.
Ever.
Every time you're asked to go beat a team that is a playoff contender, you cannot do it.
No.
And it doesn't matter what happens in the game. I love the fact that they kept fighting. Do not get me wrong. I do not want to make this a Justin Herbert bash session, because there were times in that game I was like, damn, nobody else can do that.
Nobody else can make those throws besides John Elway.
Nobody else can do that. You know what I mean?
Nobody.
Let's just be real. Let's see, if you turn on the tape and you look at it, what do your eyes say? There were some times that my eyes said, wow, that is incredible.
Right.
But
it was crazy.
You gotta put it together, man. You gotta finish this thing off. I need to see a win. I need to see a quarterback dialed in. I need to see an offensive coordinator, a head coach dialed in, a defense that can stop somebody in the right time.
Over 500 yards, man. You ain't gonna win like that.
Not.
Never.
You're not. How are we sitting here right now in November?
He needs a coach, man.
And the
He needs a new
Raiders are
coach.
ahead of the Chargers in the standings. It's not acceptable.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. And they got Bosa and Khalil Mack healthy.
It's
So
not acceptable,
and Derwin James.
man.
It's
It's not acceptable.
it's bad,
so many
man.
I
They're
think
bad
they're
at
doing this. Keenan Allen will be one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time when it's
Ever.
all said and done. He's playing absolutely out of his mind this year, and not enough people are talking about it. This man is balling. He said, "You know what? One receiver's out. I'm gonna put everything on my back. Two
So
receivers
good.
out. I'm gonna put more on my back." You know what I mean? Everything he did while Eckler was out, he was getting 20 game receptions.
Buckets.
You know what I mean? 'Cause it's insane.
It's
But he
unfortunate.
doesn't get enough credit, and y'all got this man out here and just losing. Get him to the playoffs, man. Get
He needs
Keenan
an
Allen
offensive
to
head
the
coach.
playoffs.
He needs an
Like,
offensive head coach. These
yeah,
defensive coaches outside of a select few, I think with a young guy like that, you need to really bring someone in that can understand him and the dynamic. And then you get a tough defensive coordinator, a veteran defensive coordinator. You don't buy into all the analytics. You just play hard nosed. They're not a tough team. Like
yeah.
when you think of them, you just think, oh, well, they're going to make some plays. They're going to do a good job. But when you sit here and you think of someone like the Baltimore Ravens, damn, you just think tough. This is going to be a long game.
Yeah.
Steelers, damn, they may not be good on
Facts.
offense, but this is going to be a long game.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. They don't have an identity. They don't have that.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think they need to get a guy who can bring some toughness, but also just really develop Justin Herbert to be.
Yeah.
He has the potential to. Oh my God, his ability,
it's
his arm
roof.
ability is insane. It's
through
better
the
than
roof.
anybody, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean,
we're just gonna call
I'll
it what
give
it
you that.
is.
I can
It's
give you
better
that.
than anybody's.
If you go off of what we know and what we've seen from this guy and his makeup, he could easily be the best quarterback in the NFL just by his makeup alone. I will absolutely give you that.
Yep.
And honestly, that head coaching job should be the hottest seat in the NFL right now. He should not be able to be comfortable sitting down. If they lose 2 or more games in the next 3-4 weeks,
who do they play? Who do they got coming up?
Heads need to absolutely roll. Who they have next? They should be able to beat the Packers.
They should get that.
But then they have a whole bunch.
Talk about falling
games. They got the Packers. Then they got the Ravens on a Sunday night. They got they should win. They got the Broncos. They should win. They got the Raiders. They should win. Then they got the Bills, Broncos, Chiefs. So
all those teams are tougher than them.
Tough, man.
They're tough.
Yeah.
They're more physical.
Justin's playing great.
Only thing scares me is Khalil Mack and Bosa.
Y'all heard it now.
You don't worry about that. And Derwin James.
This team's not going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're falling that hard. They're falling that hard. Let's switch it over to players, Tim. If you had a rising player, who's your rising player this week?
Yeah, let's go with Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns, man. Hey. He went into Baltimore. By the way, he only has 1 loss as a starter this year for all the grief that he's been getting. He hurt his ankle in the first half also, by the way. He outplayed the halftime consensus MVP in Lamar Jackson. He was 20 for 34, 213, 1 TD, 1 pick. But you got to look at the fourth quarter where Deshaun Jackson did Deshaun Jackson things.
Deshaun Watson.
It's fine.
Did I say Jackson?
I got excited.
It's a nice name.
It is
a nice name right there. But
that was good too.
That is a long time ago. Man, that dude was fire. But yeah, Deshaun Watson did what we expect, what we've seen from him in the past in big moments. Getting out of the pocket, making a couple throws when he needs to, using his legs. He looks like Deshaun Watson again. Maybe he got a handy over the week and it made him feel more like himself. I don't know. But I'm happy to see old school. I'm happy to see Watson back. I'm happy to see him get them in position to get that winning field goal there in Baltimore. Now, look, they're 6-3. Now they split with the Ravens, so they're in a good position in their division.
Really good.
The next 4 games, Broncos, Rams, Jaguars, Bears, all winnable games for them. Now they could go on a little roll. Now, the last part of December, Texans, Jets, Bengals. right? The Texans have proven that they're more than just a team that you just go to play and you're going to win that
Whoa,
game.
that's tough
The
schedule
Texans
in
are going to be
December.
in the hunt.
In December,
The Jets,
but they can get off
That's
to a really
tough.
good
Listen,
start.
the Jets
But they're
may
a
have
tough team.
The Jets may have A-Rod at quarterback, so we don't know
Sit
what's
your
going to
ass
happen
down,
there.
You don't
A-Rod.
want to play against them boys.
Then don't do that, brother. Don't
and
do it, brother.
You better
that
come back
game
next
against
week.
the Bengals,
Yeah.
that Cleveland Bengal game at the end of the year, that could be for a playoff spot, or it could be for the division, or it could be for the division for them and the Bengals for a playoff spot. So many scenarios. So the next 4 games, I think they get wins. They're going to go on a roll. And then those last 3 games are going to be more of a struggle than what we think.
Yeah, I agree. All right,
and I like them a lot right now. I like Deshaun Watson specifically because he is starting to look like Deshaun Watson.
I'll give you that. Free the massage.
Fair enough.
Newey, yes, rising player. Who you got, man?
My rising player is CeeDee Lamb, number 88. Hey. I think he's getting it done, man. I'll be honest with you. Me and Tim, I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago, we got to see him and Kyler play.
Yeah.
And he made a catch that wasn't technically a catch because he was out of bounds, but the catch he made was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It was insane, right? Didn't count, but we all knew that this kid could be something, right? I know they talk about him bad, right? It's like I'm going into a Boosie song. They talk about but man, he's the first player to have 10-plus catches, 150 yards in 3 straight games. I mean, he is balling. I appreciate that trade, Stefan. Thank you so much for that fantasy trade in our fantasy league. He has been balling. He's been putting it up. He's been putting on for 88. Maybe Michael Irvin's in his ear saying something. He's got to get that dog in him. I think he does. I think Dak's doing a great job. That attests to what Dak's doing and getting it out the mud, finding his playmakers, allowing them to create great situations for him. And I think right now CeeDee is doing a phenomenal job. Hope he keeps it up because if he does keep it up, I could win the Pay Me League. We'll see.
Yeah. I've given this guy a lot of scrutiny. I've scrutinized CeeDee Lamb. I've probably been one of those people that have said a lot of things about CeeDee Lamb. I thought in my mind he was the best number 2 wide receiver in the NFL.
Over T. Higgins?
That's so disrespectful.
Yeah. Like I said, the best wide receiver in the NFL and maybe ever. But it's because of his usage.
Chris Carter? Well, you better stop.
As far as pure talent to me, right?
Okay, maybe.
And let me finish this. As far as pure talent to me, I felt like CeeDee Lamb was the best number 2 wide receiver there was, right? And people will look at me and they say, what? CeeDee Lamb is a number 1 wide receiver. But how he's been used more so in that Cooper Kupp role. And it's really, really, really working for him. Because you see almost a better Cooper Kupp. CeeDee Lamb does it better than Cooper Kupp, if you ask me. I don't know if he can just line up at X all game and play the A.J. Brown role or be Devontae Adams. I'm not sure.
Well, Stephen, there's very few players that can do that because, as you noted earlier, the NFL has changed, and now it's about movement, and it's about
movement in space.
And
how Jefferson's doing. They're putting him in that role.
I find it more when you're more versatile. I find that even more appealing than an A.J. Brown. Yeah, you can throw it up to A.J. all day, but he's not as versatile in his route running as what you're going to get from CeeDee Lamb running in the slot.
I think he
is. And that's what this is about, actually. It's about the realization that is true. The NFL is changing, and my mind and what I'm seeing on the field needs to change with it. And that's why he got so much scrutiny before, because I was like, he's not like those guys. He can't just line up out there. But reality is,
he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to.
And mismatches all day inside there.
Exactly. If the offense is going to do this with that guy moving around,
coaching.
Boy, move around. You know what I mean?
Tyreek Hill is one spot.
Utilize him like Jefferson.
Utilize him. So my riser is we're gonna stay in the wide receiving room, and we have talked a lot. You would think that we're all from Dallas, man. You would think that we're from Houston, the way we are lifting up Houston. But I gotta shout outs to Noah Brown, man.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Noah Brown is a wide receiver from Ohio State, who had pretty much like maybe one really good year at Ohio State, but it was enough to get him in the NFL. And everywhere he went, only in, actually in Dallas. He was in Dallas only. And all the time he would just give you that spark. He would give you something like, you know what, Noah Brown can be something. And everybody just kept saying he could be something, but year after year, we just never really saw anything. First year, he only had 33 yards. Second year, 54 yards. The third year, 154 yards. The fifth year, he had 555 yards, right? That was his best season. This was with 43 receptions. This man just came back 2 weeks ago, y'all. He just came back from injury. So he's played 3 weeks now, Noah Brown. He's already at 439 yards. The last 2 games, 6 catches, 153 yards and a touchdown the previous game. Last game, 7 catches, 172 yards. If you didn't know it, yes, Noah Brown had 172 yards in Cincinnati against the Bengals. Way to go, young man.
Yeah.
He just played himself into a nice little roster spot with any team doing something like that.
But you know what? No, I think it's a nice little roster
with CJ.
spot with that team. You know what I mean? With his Ohio State buddy. He is the other piece. Because you know, if we want to talk about what we were just talking about with CeeDee Lamb being able to move, you got that guy in Tank Dell. You know, you got your possession. You got your possession receiver in Nico Collins, but guess what? Noah Brown is showing us that he can stretch the field, and he's doing it right now. And I love to see it. Keep it up. Tim, who's your faller for this week?
Well, I got Josh Allen in the mix, man, because God, he was really bad last night. I mean, he did get him in position at the end and kick a field goal, and that's what you're supposed to do because you're Josh Allen. But 15 for 26. 177 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. We expect so much more from him, right? Those are below average numbers. And if anyone else was doing this, I would be on their neck. I'm a huge Josh Allen fan, but I got to be on his neck because he is – I mean, this is week after week after week that he is just underperforming. He has fallen all the way down. He is playing some of the worst quarterback play in his division. Right there was Zach Wilson. And it's just bad, man. It's a bad look for him. It's a bad look for the Bills. I feel bad for Bills Mafia. I don't know what's going on in Buffalo. But they better fix it, and they better fix it in a hurry.
Fix it fast.
Let's see how good he is when the chips are down. That's because everybody throws this elite word out with Josh Allen, and he hasn't been the same since Brian Daboll.
True.
Brian Daboll kept him under wraps, gave him opportunities, right? Stephon Diggs was there. They had a nice, sweet connection. Now the chips are down. Right, they're starting to get frustrated. You're starting to throw, you're starting to force things. We're going to really see if he's elite.
I want to know.
And I told you this before the season. I was like, I just don't know if I can put him in the top 5 quarterbacks right now. Maybe talent, yes. But shit, Herbert still got to show me something too.
Who's on the sidelines that grabs Josh and talks to him during the game? Who's the guy that he reaches out to settle him down in those moments where things are chaotic? I don't know if there is.
Definitely can't be Stephon Diggs.
I feel
or Ken Dorsey. They're in the booth.
Yeah, I feel like he's just all by himself. I feel like you need somebody. You need a whisperer there on the sidelines with him, somebody to be in his ear. Because
his quarterback coach
starts to kind of get all over the place during the game.
It's mental for him
like
right
they're
now.
Reeling him in, and they're not doing a good job with play calling. Although again, last night they did run the ball, or Monday night ran the ball much better than they had with running backs, which was nice to see. James Cook had 100 yards on the ground, 12 carries. That's great to see. We haven't seen that from the Bills. But golly, man, you got to settle this kid down. Somebody needs to be taking care of him on the sideline.
I like it.
Fair enough.
Nui, who you got?
Alvin Kamara. Where have you been?
With the Saints.
You haven't had a 100-yard game since you've been back from suspension. You're averaging a career low of 3.7 yards per carry with 3 total touchdowns. Where have you been? What happened to you? Right? Is it really Derek Carr? I don't think so. Maybe they're not getting them on the ball enough. Well, he is getting quite a bit of carry since he's been back, and Jamal Williams' role has diminished, and he led the league in rushing touchdowns. So what's going on here, right? I think you get these big contracts. Is he wearing down? I just haven't seen enough for him, and I really thought he could have been the spark with him and Williams in that same backfield. Derek Carr doesn't have to do too much. You got explosive receivers on the outside. Help me understand where your production has gone.
It's the offense. I can't blame it on him. It's like I said, it's that West Coast dink
Is
and
it?
dunk offense.
I mean, because I see
he's getting his
I
targets
kind
in
of
the
see the
passing
same
game.
thing that
He's doing okay there. He's just not running the ball like we've seen him do in the
he
past.
used to.
But that's the only reason why he's even relevant right now is because he is getting those dinks and dunks. But I think it's the offense.
Yeah,
he's hurting him.
Yeah, it's not looking good. He hadn't had a 100-yard game, and that's just weird to even say when it comes to Kamara.
Yeah,
right.
Look good.
So maybe not saying he's maybe not saying as a player, but I'm just saying your production is.
Yeah,
Sean Payton.
And they're the thick of this playoff race. You know what I mean, in their division, which is very winnable.
One, I don't get it.
So if they want to get there, it's going to be behind him for sure. I want to stay in the same room, actually, man. And we've brought this up before, but now it's getting a little bothersome. You say, where is Alvin Kamara? If you're going to be beating teams, and I mean absolutely slaughtering teams, why isn't your running back one doing anything? Where is Tony Pollard?
I said that last week, and you got mad.
I did.
We got a new guy. We got a new guy.
I did. I got mad because, you know what I mean? I was like, nah, we're not going to do Tony Pollard like that. No. Nah. But then he showed again. I'm like, wait. You did this again?
He's been doing it all year, bro.
TP.
You know, we
just don't look
the same.
It doesn't look the same. You know what I mean? There was just times where I was like, oh, Tony Pollard's gone. You know, you're not catching that boy. You know what I mean? He made him miss, ducking out. He's gone. You know what I mean? Now it's he looks like the end of Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? A lot of people loved the Dalvin Cook last year, and everybody thought Dalvin Cook was a certain player, but he was just tiptoeing a lot. There's too many negative gains. You know, I don't want to see that 1 yard gain, that 2 yard gain. Tony Pollard, let me see you get a consistent 4 yards a game. Let me see that.
We have Rico for now.
I get it, but I thought he was RB1. I thought that the plan was for him to be as such, and I'm not seeing it. And I think if this team wants to go to the next level, if this team is going to be a Super Bowl contender, they're going to need a running back that can carry that load.
We found him,
and they don't have it.
We got him. We got him now.
So?
Yes. Rico Dottle had 12 carries, 79 yards, but he had some of those tough, hard carries for first downs.
Yeah, you need that. I said that in the beginning.
So
he
are you willing to say
6.5 yards a carry? Okay, we still gave Pollard 15 additional carries.
15 carries, man.
Pollard needs to be about 15 to 20 touches combined, and that needs to be in the passing game as well. That's where he really excels. Meanwhile, Zeke Elliott was running all over the place for the Patriots this past weekend. He had a great game. He had a couple of big runs called back, but Zeke Elliott was doing his thing, and no one misses him in Dallas like I do, I don't think. I love that dude. I hate that we let him go, and now it's biting us.
Tim, Zeke Elliott with the Patriots. I never would have thought that he have a better average per carry than Tony Pollard.
He looks great. He looks rejuvenated.
Who would have thought that?
Yep.
Who would have thought that?
Maybe he just
Tony
got
Pollard, man, step it up.
He got
point
complacent.
blank. If they want to make a run, you know what I mean? If they want to make a run, I need to see that vintage Tony Pollard. I need to see that what we saw last year. If not, it's not going to be enough for them boys.
Sucks.
It does. That's right. But that's going to wrap up, man. Our risers and our followers. This was a fun segment. This week was just absolutely crazy.
All that love we gave to the Vikings, and you poo-poo on the Cowboys. Now I'm talking over you.
Man, we gave love to Dak.
We did. I'm saying, if you're going to be that good, Tony Pollard, step it up. I even gave CeeDee Lamb his flowers, and that made me sick. All right, but let's keep it moving to the fourth quarter. Yes, let's keep talking about it, okay? The boy been catching up for weeks, just like the Vikings been catching up for weeks. The fourth quarter, this segment is called The Smartest Idiots. This is where us idiots choose our predictions. Knew we got off to a really good run at first. Things have been kind of fizzling out. It's been kind of evening out. And I think we'll continue that stride today.
Who won last week?
Who won last week?
I won 8 games. Yeah, I won 8 games. Wasn't that good. It was it's been a bad couple of weeks.
I don't want to say it. There was a 2-way tie, actually. Nui had 8 and our guest had 8.
Oh, well, good job, Nui.
Listen to me, fellas.
But I want to say this though.
I've been running.
I would have had 8, but I don't go against the grain. The Vikings are trash, and they're always going to get voted against. And I would have caught back up. But let's keep this thing rolling. Thursday night. This is going to be a good Thursday night game. At least in my mind, it is. But it could be trash.
Can't wait for it.
I mean, even if this game is
even if it's 3-3,
even if it's 3-3 in this game, it's going to be good. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday night. Who you got, Tim?
Well, I got to say, watching the Bengals, watching that defense completely melt down the other day, and watching the Ravens and how sound they are as a football team, the game's in Baltimore. I think that the Ravens win this game in a very, very close, low-scoring game. The only way the Bengals win this game is if the scores get into the 30s. But I think this is a Ravens win, like a 24-20, 2017 type of game.
Like it.
I got Ravens. They just lost at home. They're pissed off. They should have won that game. Right? They gave it away. Just bonehead plays. I think Lamar gets it back going. I think these guys roll Cincy. Roll them.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Not a lot has changed for me in as far as Baltimore goes. I still think this is probably one of the best teams in the AFC. Jamar Chase is a bad boy.
Yes, he is. He showed us again, didn't he?
Jamar Chase is a bad boy, and if there was anybody that was going to be able to neutralize Jamar Chase, it was going to be Marlon Humphrey. And Marlon Humphrey will not be playing in this game. And that should be very bothersome for the whole organization. I can see the opposite of what you said, and I think it'll change before the end of the week, before the end of the year. I think the Ravens will come back down to earth and they'll figure it out. But I think this game, fresh off of that injury, because he means so much to that team, I can see the Bengals absolutely airing them boys out. A defense that's been looking really, really good. I can see it being really bad the other way.
Yeah, it could get bad. It could get bad. And here's the thing. That's one of those teams that is just like the 49ers, the Lions, the Cowboys. If Baltimore gets up on you by double digits, they're going to suffocate you.
Yeah.
But they cannot play. They can't play from behind very well.
Can play from behind, though.
Exactly. He's the only one that can.
And if the Bengals get up,
if the Bengals get up,
do anything. Lamar can do anything in the world. But the only thing we haven't seen,
I don't think he plays well from behind.
Do that.
Might be able to. The only thing I haven't really seen him do is come back.
He's only done it once against the Titans. Now, quote me if I'm wrong. I mean, I've only seen it a handful of times. But
if you're always up, you don't have to worry about coming from behind.
And I don't think it's his fault either. I think, just the situational play calling, just, kind of they self-destruct. I don't know if they're going to win this game. I got Cincinnati. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, let's roll
morning. Sunday morning, we're going to stay right in that division. Golly, this division is lit right now. Pittsburgh versus the Browns at Cleveland.
Jesus.
Ooh. I got Cleveland. As good as Pittsburgh's been playing. Deshaun Watson is really stepping up. And if this game comes down to quarterback play, there's no question who the better quarterback is. I think the Steelers have the better coach, but Cleveland wins the game.
It's like we forget that. I think a lot of people are going to forget they already beat them. They've already played once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Steelers beat them.
They already beat them. You know what I mean? When they played, we were shocked. Everybody was shocked. We all went against the grain. We didn't.
Didn't they beat him with Walker though?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to beat him with Watson.
Yeah. I don't think so either. You know what I mean? I just wanted to point that out. Cleveland Browns. Keep it moving. Okay. Division matchup: Chicago at Detroit. I do believe I said this last week, and maybe I was wrong, but I do think Justin Fields should be back this game. Who we got?
This is a game that the Detroit Lions should and will win. Regardless of Justin Fields, I think that hopefully he'll play well, but the Bears just don't have enough to hang with the Lions. Jared Goff's going to have a huge day against that Bears team.
Detroit. See, this is where you mess up, Stefan.
Nah,
This
I've
whole
been,
pause.
I've been
Let
I
me
mean,
making
he's trying to
overanalyze
pause. I think I
every
want to take the
freaking
Bears.
thing.
Come on, man.
I've been
Nah,
making my
bro.
comeback. If Justin Fields plays, if and only if, all right.
They're gonna
So
roll
I'll have
the
to go back
Bears.
and see first. If he plays, there was something special about Montez Sweat last week. All right. That trade was pretty crazy for them to get him. I love that they locked him in. I talked bad about y'all not locking him in before that, but they locked him in, and he made an immediate impact. If Fields
Okay, man.
plays, I got the Bears. If he
Okay.
doesn't, Lion me. All right? Lions. Chargers at Green Bay. This Chargers at Green Bay. Who you got, Tim?
Toilet bowl.
And this is
Yuck.
this. You know what? I struggle with this because on paper the Chargers should win this game, and they are going to win this game. They
Okay,
have
I'm
to
not
win
good.
this game
Chargers.
because the Packers are absolutely terrible.
Terrible.
So you can't if if they lose this game, fire everybody. But yeah, they're going to win the game. Chargers.
Chargers. If
Green
you
Bay's
didn't
true.
know, the Green Bay Packers are missing 3 DBs. They got 2 on IR, and they traded Rasul Douglas to the Buffalo Bills. Everybody that plays the Packers is going to air
Track
them
me.
out. If you play the Packers, you're airing them out.
Love that. Love it.
This is going to be dirty. Justin Herbert is about to go crazy against them. That's going to be nasty. Green Bay's not winning that. Chargers. Las Vegas at Miami. Hot Vegas at Miami.
This is a test for Tua. And this this Miami Dolphin team who has not yet beat a team over 500 that we expect to be in the playoffs. And guess what? The Raiders are 5-5. So maybe a week ago I would say Dolphins, no problem. But now it's not looking that good. But this game being in Miami, I'm going to say the Dolphins go ahead and win this game.
Yeah, Dolphins ain't lost at home, man. Dolphins. Just next.
I got Dolphins on this. I got Dolphins on this, but just don't be surprised if this is that game that we all get swept because
Don't be shocked.
It's something about it. It's something about it. Just it feels fishy. I don't know why, but I got Dolphins on this one. But I don't know. Watch out, Raiders. Just a terrible game. Godly. The Giants at the Commanders.
Yeah, this game is trash ass on all sides. If there's a team worse than the Packers, it's probably the Giants. And if there's a team worse than both of those that should be relegated to the XFL, it's probably the Commanders just because I hate them. But they're going to win this game because the Giants are worse.
Sounds like an XFL team, doesn't it?
It does. They look like one, too, with those ugly-ass uniforms. So
bring back the Redskin
that's
logo.
how I really feel. Yeah, but the Commanders get the win here.
Yeah, Commanders got it, man. I think Sam Howell's doing a great job. He's airing it out despite, losing some games. He leads the league in passing. I think they're going to air raid this thing out. I think they're going to go nuts.
Bold statement. Bold statement. You heard it here first on the Couch Coach. Sam Howell will throw for 400 yards on Sunday.
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction.
Okay.
If there's a
we need some predictions.
Yeah, we need to get into
all these games.
If there's any type of money bet that you can place that Sam Howell will not throw, it will throw for over 300 yards. If it's anywhere near 300, take it. If it's in the 200s, put your mortgage on it. Keep it rolling.
Wow.
Dallas at Carolina. For some reason, it's just a game that they should win, but this is that stupid game that the Cowboys lose for some reason.
Every year.
Tim, who you got?
Yeah, they've already had that game. It was in Arizona. It was earlier in the year. They're not going to have that game again. Bryce Young may not. I mean, if I was Bryce Young, honestly, I would manufacture some sort of injury during the week where I didn't have to face this defense this weekend because he is about to get slaughtered. If he hasn't had a welcome to the NFL hit yet, he will this weekend. Micah Parsons will welcome him. Bold prediction: this game might be in the 70s for the Cowboys. They are going to make mincemeat of the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be terrible for them. Cowboys are going to have a huge day. Can't wait. Dak's going to throw.
That defense plays hard,
for
man.
another
I don't know if they're going to let y'all
yards.
score that many points.
Watch.
Dallas is going to run away with this.
Run away!
Track me.
Because the defense is going to put us in favorable field position the entire game. And Dak's going to go crazy. It's going to be a
I'll
lot
give
of
you that.
fun. Can't wait.
Dallas, not close. Division matchup, and it's a turning point for one team. Well, actually, it's a turning point for both teams because you don't want to lose this game. If one team loses, they're dead. If the other team loses, they're just not real. Tennessee at Jacksonville. Who you got?
You know what? I think Will Levis is going through it. He's going through some of those growing pains right now. Tennessee's not a very good football team as a whole. Jacksonville needs to rebound, and they will. They have a veteran coach. Jacksonville will win the game.
All Tennessee has to do is run the damn ball. Every time they get over 100 yards, they win a game. So I got the upset this week.
Oh.
The Tennessee Titans
upset
are
alert.
going into Jacksonville. And bold prediction, Will Levis 3 TDs.
Oh, but you just said they should run the ball.
I
think it makes sense.
Hey, run the ball, set up for play action, big top to D-Hop. Here we go.
Gotcha.
Hey,
run the ball.
What do we do with Brock Purdy? We run the ball, and then he throws for 3 touchdowns. Simple like that.
Okay. Man, the Titans aren't very good, man. They showed
This is where you might get up on me, but I'm gonna ride with the old squad.
They showed it. I don't like it. They're just not very good. I want to believe in
I'm
it.
Just gonna pick them.
And actually, yeah, I want to believe
Goofy.
it. But I don't know. Jacksonville's in this one.
Yeah, y'all said that too, and then what happened?
I actually love this matchup. And like a couple of weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have loved it, but Kyler's back. Arizona.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun one.
I think it's gonna be a fun one. I don't know why. It's not like, but remember I said, this Arizona team is rising in my mind. Arizona at Houston. What do y'all think?
Houston.
Yeah,
Houston ain't lost.
Kyler's back, but CJ's on a roll. That the Houston Texans are going to win the game.
There's not enough DBs out there to guard those guys. I got Houston.
Yeah, they haven't lost a home game.
Although
this year.
Kyler does not lose in Texas.
They lost one.
Guys, Kyler doesn't lose in Texas. He's never lost to the Cowboys in Dallas. I don't think he's ever lost in the state of Texas. So let's put that into some sort of comparison.
Oh, is that a bold prediction, Tim? Or are you throwing that out there and just say, "Hey, Arizona's about to win this"?
No, I don't want to fall behind in the standings. So I'm going to say that the Texans are going to win because of CJ Stroud and their defense and everything they've got going on. But it's not crazy to think because Kyler just doesn't lose in Texas.
Well, guess what? I don't want people thinking that I am a Houston Texans fan, even though I do love Houston Texans, and I'm drinking that Kool-Aid right now. But Kyler's back. Arizona in this one to shock the world for a little bit of humbling experience for CJ Stroud and the Texans, and they get right back on track. Don't get it twisted, but this is just their game that they shouldn't have lost, and they will. Tampa Bay at San Francisco.
It's going to be a long day for Baker.
Welcome, Baker.
Oh, God. The 49ers are
welcome to
the Tampa Bay team.
Mother sucker!
No chance.
This is ugly.
I said sucker.
This is ugly.
No chance?
No chance.
No. Like, hey, maybe there is a chance, though.
I mean,
because if we get down by 10, we can't win. Bars. In the fourth quarter when it matters, Kyle's about to panic, boy. Shit. But the Niners about to roll this. We got it going. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Niners, baby.
It probably won't be close.
Niners get it. They blew them out last year.
That's a 3 o'clock.
It's the same damn team.
We're forced to watch.
Mine is Tom Brady. I like my chances.
Cut that off, man. Like,
what you mean?
I got San Francisco on that one. I don't think it's going to be close. I think they're going to absolutely roll.
Terrible game to watch.
Yeah. At least it's the early one. It's the one that comes on first, so it'll be over first.
Yeah, well, there's 2 NFC games at that time. Yeah. You got that one and then the Rams Seahawks. Who wants to watch that crap? So really, it's
3, man.
That's the game to watch.
Well, actually, with that being said, who you got? That was next.
Man, it has to be the Bills. Josh, you want to go with the Rams? You want to go to the Rams?
Seattle at Rams. Who you
Rams,
got?
Seattle.
Stafford's back.
Stafford is back.
They already beat him.
I'm gonna go to the Rams at home. I'll go to the Rams at home, even though I love what Geno Smith is doing with Seattle, but I'm gonna go with the Rams at home.
Okay.
I got Seattle on this one.
Yeah,
I got Seattle on this one. I think they get pressure to Stafford, man. I don't think he's all the way. I think they're going to rush him back. I think they're going to be all in his face the entire game.
Yep.
Good luck.
Seattle gets back on track. I like that one.
Yeah.
That's going to be easy. New York Jets.
Easy. I guess I went against the grain.
Yeah.
Sucks.
New York Jets at Buffalo. Who you got?
This is a season-saving game. This is a must-win for the Buffalo Bills after what just happened.
What if they beat them again?
But the Jets are better than. Oh man, this is a tough one. What if they beat
them again? What if they?
He did throw 3 picks against them.
Oh,
2 to the same person.
What if they sweep them?
I'm gonna go with the Jets. Jets.
Man, stop the BS, man. You know Buffalo's about to blow the doors off them.
Blow them out. Oh my God, they're so mad about that last time.
They're gonna blow them out.
Josh Allen hasn't looked good since the Miami game, so I don't care how mad he is. He hasn't played well in 3-4 weeks.
Well, maybe good old Brady will help him.
Yeah, maybe.
Brady's got he's the year.
That's going to be a transition
Josh needs.
Last thing we know from him is pretty damn good. So I'll ride with Buffalo on this one. Our Sunday night game, looking forward to it, is our Minnesota Vikings at Denver in the Mile High.
Why in the world is this Sunday night game?
I'm not watching.
Well, because honestly, before the season, there's no way with Sean Payton in Denver. This preseason, this looked good.
They need to flex the Monday night game to Sunday night and let the Sunday night game play Monday night.
Yeah, like what are they doing,
take
bro?
Monday night off. Anyway,
the honeymoon is over.
I think it's over. Broncos. I think that Russell Wilson is playing at a very high level right now, and I think that makes things different. I think it's in Denver. At some point, Josh Dobbs is going to lose a game. I think it'll be this week. I think the Broncos pull out the upset.
I do too. I got Broncos.
The way the defense is playing, I think Russell Wilson should be very scared. I don't think this is going to be an easy game. What I was watching in that game that they just played against the Buffalo Bills was there were some panic plays. Now, because he's Russell Wilson, he made those plays. He made a lot of those plays. But there was just a great deal of panic. And if you have any of that panic against Brian Flores and that defense, you're probably going to lose the game. But I just don't see it happening the way things are going. I'm going to roll with the Denver Broncos. They're going to win.
So confused.
And I'm going to keep my streak going. That's right.
Hey, they probably fucking win too.
Let's go. Our Monday night game, wrap this thing up. This is our Super Bowl rematch. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at Kansas City.
Don't everybody speak at once. This is the toughest game of the weekend for me to pick. What are you gonna
Chiefs.
say? Man, I would love to see.
I need the Chiefs to win. I need them to win. Listen, the Chiefs. I need you to win.
I just don't know if the Chiefs have enough to finish the game with this Eagles team, man. I think that the Eagles, they wear you down on both lines of scrimmage.
They got a top 3 defense, man. I think they're pretty confident. I've told you.
I'm going to go with Patty Mahomes at home. I'm going to go with Patty Mahomes.
I'm going with Mahomes at home, dude.
Yep. Better quarterback.
You got Mahomes?
I got Mahomes.
It's the defense, man. That's been the common theme for all of these teams for me. How's your defense playing right now? And their defense is playing pretty damn good. And I like Andy. I really do like Andy Reid at home off a bye. I like it.
Against his own team, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, it's personal.
Oh, yeah. It's
Every
personal.
time they play.
It's personal.
My guys, this is our first time doing this without a special guest. It's not like we ever needed one anyways. This is a good this is a good episode.
Pew, pew.
Point blank. But let's close this thing out for the dub. Mark, without further ado, man, play that theme music, dog.